What is up, everybody? Welcome to this week's Jesse Spec YouTube video. This week's episode is going to be really exciting because I'm taking you on my first time attack race, and things did not go as expected. Lots of action and drama as well. So I really had an awesome weekend with my friends. So come on along and let's dive right into it. Welcome to this week's video. As you can see, I took the MR2 onto track at Anneau du Rhin. This is my friend Jody. He invited me to go with him and a couple of his friends that are pretty serious race car drivers and push the limits pretty hard, so I was very happy to be able to go with them. So today with my MR2, which is swapped with a 2ZZ engine, so roughly 205 horsepower NA, I'm going to be taking it around the racetrack that is called Anneau du Rhin. That is about 2 kilometer long racetrack. There is possibilities to go over 200 kilometers per hour, and it's definitely a very interesting track and that I have never been on until now. So to be honest, I was quite apprehensive of what's going to happen that day. But anyway, let's see if we can get some good laps in and enjoy some time. So also the tires, just so you know, I'm running A052, so not slick tires. And as you can see, the competition was pretty fierce. So a lot of formula cars, prototypes, Lotuses, all kinds of different cars. So take a look at them and tell me what you think. So we're gonna start the qualifyings. As you see, there's my MR2, there's the Subaru of Jody, there's also Philippe with his Porsche GT3. What a beast, the guy and the car as well. He also, by the way, was among the fastest guys of the day. So lots of respect for him. And there's also Aris that we couldn't see in the video until now, but he has a white BMW who also was driving with us. So I'm just getting ready, putting my harness on. I also, as you can see, there's a red screen in the middle of the windshield that I use as a lap timer. So you can keep your eyes on that a little bit also, so you can see what the current time is of my driving. So let's warm up the car and get a feel for this track that I've never been on until now. What's important to note is, and that is something that I really should have kept more attention to, is that since it was really cold, the track was really cold. So we're close to, I'd say, 5 degrees or so. So the asphalt was really cold. It might have actually been even colder than that. So if your tires are not warm, you definitely are incurring a risk to actually slip and crash. So it's really important, and that's also advice I give to anybody who's on track and going racing, is to absolutely warm up your tires before you do anything, because that's really something that can get you in big trouble, and you will actually see that that's exactly what happened to me. The little MR2 has its very distinct sound, and it sounds really awesome, the 2ZZ engine. I really love this engine. So as you see here, I'm following a really hardcore track spec Lotus, and of course there are all kinds of cars going way faster because we're still in the warm-up phase. And so yeah, let's just getting a feel for the track. As you can see, there are all kinds of different cars on it. We have Golfs, we have Renaults, we have MR2s, we have Formula cars that drive a little bit in different times. But yeah, so this car was keeping me up a little bit, and yeah, I was pretty nervous driving on this track, to be honest. And so I felt that this guy was going a little bit too slow, so I'm comfortable. That's actually something I realized that also is something that gets me nervous when I'm on a regular traffic road as well, is if I'm behind somebody that I feel is not going to my pace, I get uptight pretty quickly. That's one of my faults. That's something that I really should work on more. So the guy let me past, and look what happens. Understeer, wheels were not warm, and here's the result. Thank God those tires were not against the wall, so I could get running again, but that noise does not sound good, so I had to put the warnings on and slowly get off the racetrack. So what was my mistake? First of all, getting uptight about somebody going slower in front. That's something really stupid that can easily be avoided, but also take more care to warm up the tires, and even in the warm tires sometimes are not enough when the track is a little bit oily, or when it's cold it's sort of damp. Even with warm tires you can run this risk, and as you can see in the grass, whatever you do, even with 10 kilometers speed, you will not slow down whatever happens. So the next thing you hit is whatever is going to make you slow down, unless you have enough space. So that was really a very steep learning curve for me. So after that I managed to pull out the fender and everything, put some scotch tape on my headlight, and I actually also had the rear tail lens that flew off, which I could find later, which I was happy about that. It's glued on again. So I went back out, of course, with about 20 times less confidence than before, and decided, okay, let's build up some pace slowly and safely and see what we can do. And this was actually a really good session, and I could really get things moving. As you can see in front, Jody with his STI and Philippe with his GT3, they will totally dust me later. But anyway, we decided to start slow and then build up from there, and that's how you should do it, especially when the road is damp and you can really, as you could see with first-hand experience, end up in the tire wall, and that's the best scenario. Otherwise, if it's the concrete wall, you will suffer much bigger damages. So anyway, let's build it up and let's go from there. And of course, thank you GoPro for having the best session, having the microphone not working. That also, I really sincerely want to thank GoPro for having really terrible audio quality at the moment where the best session is going on. So thanks a lot, GoPro. I really think your products are amazing. Anyway, enough ranting. So let me walk you through a full lap. So that was the starting line. And here you have these chicanes. You see there are little tire walls, so you got to really watch out not to bump in those, otherwise you will have severe damage. Then we have this behind area, all in second gear, and this is basically the place where you start picking up pace. Okay, that was the official starting line as well. So here you build up quite a lot of speed. Honestly, I think I was able to go to 200 or at least close to 200. This area here is where we get closer to this is a high-speed corner, and this is where we come in front of the tribunes where people can watch and see the cars passing. Then we have a few tight sessions here, tight curves, all in second gear. My car was losing quite a lot of grip because I couldn't get the tires really up to temperature. But oh, look at that. That's the curve where I crashed just a few minutes before. Tricky one as well, especially if you don't have the right line. That's also what happened to me. Here you have this a little bit longer second gear right curve, and here again we build up pace, and the guy's letting me pass, although he's way faster than me. And here, these two curves are honestly pretty sketchy because you're going quite fast, and with this damp track you feel like this is not safe. And here we are again at the point where I started commenting the lap, and we're back in the chicanes here. That is an interesting part because basically that's one of the places you go the fastest, and you have to really brake hard just to be able to clear the chicanes. So anyway, let's build some pace without audio. So here you see my lap here was 154. You will see things will improve considerably over time. So let's go for it. Already we can see pace is picking up. We're at 150 here, so I'm already managed to shake down 5 seconds. What was also interesting to see is next to that gauge on the right you have EGTs, and as a mapper that's always something interesting to have in mind on top of your AFRs, of course, because in the end if you have too hot exhaust gases, there's a strong chance that you might actually damage something. So I think only in the whole day at one point in the afternoon I went like to 705 degrees, but other than that always nice and below 700, which is really a healthy temperature, good for racing and reliability. So I'm happy on that side. I did my job correctly. So that previous lap was very satisfying actually, and I managed to do the best time that I did for the qualifying in the morning, and that was 1:48. So in spite of the cold temperatures, I actually did really well because I ended up being the fastest guy in my category, which was a big surprise for me in spite of coming back from a crash. It's worth mentioning also that Philippe and Aris are the two fastest guys of all the categories, not taking into account the Formula cars as of course, but Jody as well, like he's like 9 seconds faster than me in his STI, so the MR2 is fast, but it will always depend on what category, right? So yeah, here you can see the results, and I'm looking forward to this afternoon, and I will try to figure out why I didn't have any sound, and hopefully I'll be able to give you some 2ZZ VVT-Li engine sound. Okay, so let's take a quick look at my fastest lap. So here it's written 1:48, but this was the lap that I did 1:47. So I think also something that is interesting to mention is when you're following a car that is going at similar pace, not way faster, not way slower, it is actually an excellent way to improve your lap time. So the guy in front of me actually, I really felt like, man, this guy, I want to catch up to him, whatever it takes. So I was in the zone, It's really too bad that there isn't engine sound in this clip, because I really felt that I was really pushing myself and I was getting more and more confident in spite of what happened. So here the sketchy high-speed corners, they are actually very fun and very thrilling, but of course you gotta respect them. So here we're getting to the fastest part, and then now full brakes. And ideally you want to put your wheel in between the curb and the tires to get a good line and go as fast as possible. And here we go, pushing harder on the straight. It was written there 147, and my timer for some reason told it to me later. So this guy also was behind me, so I could feel he was pushing me. That was really good. And here we're coming onto the area where we have the exit and where the tribunes are, where everybody can watch. And this is where you see my timer went to 1 minute 47, showing my best time of the morning, which put me in place 1 of SLT5 category. Of course, it's slower compared to other cars. Whoops, a bit of oversteer there. So that was perfect. So let's cool down the car and get a lunch break. And then from there, we'll go and do the qualifying in the afternoon. And guess what? We will have some sound this time. So yeah, it's definitely the time to do a break, I think. So it's the afternoon now. You can see it cleared up a little bit. Philippe in first position, Aris in second, a couple of cars before, and this is the lineup basically that was driving all together. So you see Jody with his Subaru making awesome noises right there. KTM X-Bose and the MR2 as well. So here we are. So the little MR2 amongst Lotuses and other cars. This is the race runs, so they started from here, so let's dive into it and enjoy some racing. The warm-ups are in progress, and oh boy, it's so nice to have engine sound inside the cabin, don't you think?
If you like this video, make sure to hit the like button, to subscribe, and make sure to not miss our next videos.
felt good. Uh-oh. Weird rattling sound coming. Quickly get off the track. I see oil smoke coming out the back. Uh-oh, let's quickly stop the car. Engine stalled also. I can't believe it, things were going so well. Oh, the engine doesn't start anymore. Oh no. That does not look good. Thank God the smoke is reducing itself, it's less than before. Let's see if I can see what's going on. I just see oil coming out from in between the gearbox and the engine block. That's weird. The walk of shame. The whole session had to be stopped because of me. Poor MR2. He really doesn't look very happy. So that I had to retire from that race, so my friends and other contendants continue racing. So I was in the pits supporting them, and I still managed to do one time. It was my best time of the day before the engine gave. So let's see what the results were in the end. I was too bummed out, to be honest, to find out what was broken, so I just put the car on the trailer. The MR2 looks really sad and broken, and I was too, to be honest. So anyway, load it back on the car and strap it up and get ready to go back. So you see the tail light was ripped off from the crash. The front fender was dented. The rear fender was a bit scratched. Front light was broken, and here you see the residues of oil all over the place. But anyway, on a more positive note, as you can see, Philippe and Aris did first and second of the whole event. They did a good job. You can see here myself, I still managed to pull off a good time, and it was a really, in the end, positive experience because all of us managed to do pretty well. And I must say, as a first experience in racing, it was really very intense and full of adrenaline, and I really love that kind of thing. So anyway, let's conclude this video.
All right, we're back in the office. So as you can see, not only did I crash for the first time on track, but also I had an engine failure. So what kind of engine failure? To be honest, I'm not quite sure how bad it is. All I know is that all the oil blew out, and these I did some research and I did not take everything apart yet. That's going to be coming really soon. So if you haven't subscribed yet, make sure to do so, because I'm going to go into all the steps I did actually to find out what was wrong with the engine. I'm pretty sure that blow-by is what happened, because the only thing that I could see that was wrong with my block or anything is that I had oil in between the block itself and the transmission coming out. So that means that probably the main seal on the crank on the clutch side probably popped. Why would that happen? The car has never leaked a single centiliter of oil since I've put the engine in and everything. It's been running perfectly, even on track days with really hot temperatures of over 35 degrees. But for some reason, on this cold race day, yeah, something happened. So I'm pretty sure it's blow-by, you know. That's something I realized with my MR2, is that, for example, the oil gauge in itself, in order to put it in, it's so tight fit with the swap hose that basically allows the oil dipstick to get in, that I wonder if in many cases with blow-by it would just push out the oil dipstick, and many times people have problems of the oil dipstick coming out. In my case, since it's so tightly fit and you really have to jam it in there and it doesn't come out, I'm pretty convinced that the weakest element basically gave, and that was this oil gasket. So as you can see, the engine, I turned it off immediately and just rolled off the track as quickly as I could. But yeah, hopefully no damage other than the oil that just went out. The engine turned off immediately. So maybe if I'm lucky, I could get away with it, but not sure. So anyway, so thank you so much for watching this week's video. It's been a really awesome time with this car. Now sadly I need to find out what's broken, but I'll keep you posted and I'll show you a little bit what happened as soon as I know more. So once again, thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Peace.